Magneto can stand in front of this, a Hela, a Punisher, even like a Luna, right? And he can be okay for a long amount of time, right? He can stand back and he can pressure this Hela with his primary, force her to walk back. He can, you know, use his shield or his bubble um, to, like, whenever he gets bursted, to go get some healing. He can take cover and he can kind of keep poking and play the long game against these guys, right? He can out trade these guys in a long, extended duration. Hulk has a bubble that has what, 175 HP, 150 HP, something like that, right? That's going to get bursted really quick. He's a massive target and he's going to take a shit ton of damage, right? But what Hulk can do that Magneto can't is he can choose to go in and apply his resources wherever he wants to. And if you do that at the right time, you can get massive value. Like if my Black Panther is going in and I take the Luna Freeze, I take Hela attention, I probably take this Punisher's attention too, and I do this at the right time. My mag is shooting in, he's doing damage, I hit a big bubble, I jump out. What's happened in the 1 second I was in there? BP's gone in there. He's dashed through him. He's thrown a spear. He's dashed through him again, right? Probably ulted again. Like that's what Hulk does. Is he can choose the place and the time in which he can use his resources and apply himself. Magneto can't do that. He's just got to stand back here and kind of out trade them over time. Hulk wants to get big burst of value at the right time, at the right place. If you go at the wrong time, like let's say my BP's here, my Magneto's like peeling for somebody, and I go in, what's going to happen? My bubble gets forced. I have to jump out. I've done nothing. And then my BP eventually makes his way over here. He's ready to die. He's ready to dive and he gets shredded, right? Like that's the difference. If you go at the wrong time, if you apply your resources incorrectly, you're going to lose. You're not going to get much value at least. And if you do it right, you're going to get a ton of value. But when do we want to use bubble? What does bubble do? Let's just talk about bubble usage. Was that a good bubble? Save yourself, save your teammates, cancel ults. Yeah, yeah. Those are good. All three good. What else? When you need to use bubble. That's correct, Zornamix. But when do you need to? You can use it to block heals, yeah. Yeah, so if you can get enough value out of your bubble, it's a very diverse tool, right? So you can use it to block heals. You can use it to save yourself. You can use it to save a teammate. You can use it to block cooldowns too. The primary usage of bubble is going to be blocking this Wolverine for your for his jump, right? Like that's the thing you're worried about on this team. Out of everything, probably sleep dart if you're on the Mantis. But like this Wolverine's going to be trying to kill you 24/7. He's going to be trying to use that on you. You need to track this guy and use your bubble against him whenever he does. If he uses it, then you can use bubble however you want to. So you got to think about it per the matchup. Like, how are you going to use bubble? And in this matchup, I'm thinking I'm going to be using this bubble against Wolverine most. Exile's good. And then you can, you know, counter charge him with your jump as well. Those are good ways to avoid his kidnap. But like bubble's gonna be the most important one. It's the easiest one to do. It's the safest one to do. So we can use our bubble in all of those different ways. But in this matchup, I'd really be wanting to save it because they have Wolverine. As soon as we use this bubble, this Wolverine's going to be on us and he's going to try and kidnap us. And it happened last fight too. We used our bubble a little bit early. We got a little bit of value out of it. But not enough value out of it to justify giving this Wolverine a free kidnap. And then he kidnapped us and we got destroyed. Yeah, get kidnapped. What happened to his kidnap there? Oh. Okay, I gotta see this from his POV. Watch this. That's so unfortunate, man. Yeah, canceling cooldowns is probably gonna be your #1 way of using bubble. That's the way it's most commonly used. There's gonna be times where you see an ultimate that's gonna, like, a Magneto ball is heading right at your support and you're able to just bubble it, or a Strange is ulting and you just bubble it, or whatever. Or you, like, have an opportunity to block line of sight with healing with it and you get a lot of value out of it. But, like, most of the time you're gonna be wanting to save it to soak as much cooldowns as possible. Or big burst damage too. We'll just talk about bubble usage for now. I want to focus on that. Alright, we have our bubble. We're in the back line. Do we want to bubble right now? I don't think you use bubble here. Of course it jiggles when I walk. How big are your bubbles? Massive. Like, would this be an impactful bubble if we bubbled right now? This is what a lot of Hulks do, is they jump in. I do this. It's bad bubble management. I think every Hulk struggles with bubble management. Is one of the hardest things. They'll jump in and they'll just kind of automatically hit their bubble and they don't really think about it. No, there's nothing that threatens us. Yeah, you also have your Cloak and Dagger ultimate, right? You could argue that you could block these heals, but I don't think that's valuable enough, especially when they have the Wolverine. So good, yeah. Now we're purple, but we're in the Cloak and Dagger ultimate. I would consider bubbling if I was purple and I wasn't in a heat support ultimate, because that's really scary. We still have our bubble. You see, like, we don't use it here. We're still able to just keep on engaging regardless because we didn't use our bubble. Like, if we used our bubble there, we would then have to, like, sit out and take our time, or else we'd just go in and feed. So that's, like, if you can hold your bubble, if you can go in, get some value, jump out, hold your bubble, that's really good because it means you get to do more. Okay. What about this bubble? What you think? Good bubble, bad bubble. Cloak blind, yeah. Cloak blind doesn't give you an anti-heal. It gives you vulnerability, so you take 28% more damage. Maybe a second earlier? What happens a second earlier? No, I wouldn't say a second earlier. I was below half. Yeah, fine bubble. You're in there, right? The fight is happening. You're at half HP. I think this is a fine bubble. I don't think it's the maximum value bubble. I think you could hold this for maybe a second or two more. But, like, you're half HP and you're in there, so use bubble. And that's good enough. Clean up. Next fight. Oh, what happens here? Oh, nice try. Do you have your jump taken away? Did your jump get taken away here? No, you had... Oh, your jump gets taken away by the Magneto right click, actually, I think. I would say you can just release jump as you bubble against a Wolverine, and that way, if he does hit you, you counter pin. And instead of getting kidnapped here, but it looks like your jump gets taken away anyway. Unlucky. This is unlucky. What about that bubble? What did you think of that one? Trying to fall back and I was low. Decent. Yeah, I'd say so. It's just unlucky, right? Like, you just got tackled by a Wolverine who you didn't see. You got hit by a Magneto cooldown that is just going to hit you sometimes. You use the bubble, you get out. But now what do we have to do? We've used bubble. Bubble does get forced, right? Like, we're going to have low-value bubbles because they're going to force them. That's a low-value bubble, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's how we respond to that that matters. What do we do now that our bubble's down? Not die? Yeah, but how do we do that? Take corner, check for supports. Yeah, we could do that. We could just kind of wait. We could say, hey, you're down your Wolverine too. Or no, their Wolverine just died. I misunderstood. But yeah, we could go back to this corner and just chill and say, hey, give me a second. I need my bubble back, right? What other things could we do when we don't have our bubble? What's the thing we cannot do? You do have Hulk ult, so you could decide to go in here, actually. Yeah, we can't jump in, right? Like, maybe here we can, because it's just the Magneto and they're kind of coming back. But if their team was here and we commit like 5 seconds from now or whatever, we get healed up. By the time we get healed up in a couple of seconds, their team's going to be here. If we jump in, we get stunned, something happens, we could just blow up. So we don't want to commit to the backline. We can kind of go in here. We could fight this Magneto right now because he's alone. We could force his magic out because there's just nobody here. But we don't have our bubble, so we can't overcommit. That's the big thing. We could wait. I think waiting here might not be the play because they're in such a bad position. But let's say it's like a normal team fight. You could, instead of waiting, you could set up. You could come over here, right? Because if I'm sitting back here as Hulk and I'm waiting for my bubble cooldown and they're here and I walk through here, I take a bunch of damage. I might get it forced again. I have to jump out. Why not use this time a little bit more proactively? I think going on the mag here's the choice because they're down a few and they're walking back, but we could set up as well. I think this is a fine choice as well. And just, you know, your Wolverine gets out, you guys play this corner, and then when they come through, you're walking from this angle, which is a lot better. Because you're not taking a ton of damage. Right, so there are things you can do when you don't have bubble. You can chase staggers, you can chase isolated targets like in this situation, or you can set up. The one thing you can't do is dive into the entire team. Even if you're up a couple. We do go for this. Nice. We need to be careful, and we are being careful. Very nice. We have our bubble again, and we're in. Well done. Well done. Alright, where do we want to be? So it looks like you guys are holding this choke, right? How could we hold this choke better as Hulk? What do you think? Look, we're just kind of standing here, waiting for them to come in. They're looking at us. Are we doing anything by being here right now? Holding the choke better? How could we hold the choke better, though? Standing on the corner. Which corner you want to be on? I think I like left corner a lot here. More than right corner. Because I probably take more poke this way. And if they do punish me, at least they're punishing me by looking away from my team, right? But you could hold this one if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we're short range. And we're just standing here. One, they're going to be thinking about you because they can see you. So they'll be like, Hulk's going to jump in at any time. You could have the element of surprise here. You could tax them for coming through here, right? Let's see what you do. Right now, you could just throw a clap and go to that corner. That would be perfect. Your Wolvie gets kidnapped. Their magic just gets a pick. They're about to support ultimate. What do you think of that bubble? Why do you bubble that? We're full HP. Our team isn't a cloak and dagger ultimate, so you know you could make the argument that you're saying let's get out, let's get out, let's get out, and you just bubble and you get out and you're preventing that damage because you're gonna fully get out. But I don't think that's what you're doing here. I think you just kind of use the bubble randomly because things are happening, and we could definitely save this, especially since we're Mantis ulting and they're cloak and dagger ulting. We got our bubble back, so we're going to be looking... And we're full HP. Right, we don't have our exile, but we don't necessarily need that. Do we want to go in here, or do we want to wait for a better opportunity? Let's see what's going on. What do you think? Jump this window, or hang back and save your resources? Which one do you want to do? I'm going to jump this because I'm stupid? I don't think that's stupid at all. I think it's totally fine. Now, what if you execute it poorly, you could die, sure. They have a Wolverine coming back. The fight hasn't really started yet, but you can get away with this jump because your hell is shooting stuff. Your team's shooting some things. You could wait. Maybe that's a slightly better decision, but I don't think this is necessarily a mistake. You just have to be a little careful. Maybe you could do a soft dive here, not use your bubble, just jump up and punch. If we overcommit and die, that's the only thing that we can do. But going in doesn't necessarily mean we're going to overcommit and die. So let's see what you do. They use lamps too. That's big. So that means you have that's a good time to go in. But we just want to be careful of the wolf walking back in. Nice. Nice bubble. Huge bubble. This isn't stupid at all. What do you accomplish by doing this? What have you done for your team? It's for a second, but you do two big things with this. Disrupt heals for their dives, yes. Like if your Hela was playing this a little bit smarter, maybe in a better position. It's kind of unfortunate she swapped off this Black Panther. I was hoping to look back and see a 1 HP Panther, but that's not what happened. But still, you don't know that's going to happen. So like that could have been a situation that happened, or even this magic, if she went in a little faster, could be low. Your Hela was actively shooting them. They turned to a different target, but still, she's shooting other targets, right? And this Loki isn't able to help these guys that she's on. Right? Like, if you sit back, your Hela probably just feeds this. She might actually get a kill or survive here now. And then what else do you do? They're also very split up now. Yeah. You've isolated the Loki for just a second. You don't get the kill. But that's all you need to do, is just get in there, have a high value bubble, force a cooldown, isolate a target. You can get the kill if they disrespect you, but they're not always going to disrespect you. You zoned them. If they do respect you, you've zoned them. Even for a second. This is big. Wolverine kind of works on the same cycle as Hulk, right? He goes in, he gets big value, and he doesn't have ult here, does he? Yeah, he doesn't have ult. He gets big value with this shift, and then he can't really go in here. He's gonna walk in here and probably do very little. He uses his damage reduction. He's probably not gonna get as much done because he doesn't have his big cooldown. This is basically like his bubble. So you've traded those cooldowns. Your cooldown comes back faster too. And you've taken a lot of pressure off of your team. Loki can do damage too, so your team wasn't getting damaged by the Loki, and their people weren't getting healed. Unfortunately, your team didn't get any kills there, but like that is a fine resource trade. But now we've used our bubble. So let's think about what we want to do. You have a Wolverine walking towards you, but he doesn't have his big scary cooldown, so that's fine. Good. Yeah, this is a thing you can do, right? Because you don't have your bubble. A Psylocke's really scary, but why can't we dive on this Psylocke? Right, it's better to dive on this Psylocke right now than it is to dive on this Loki even. We're next to our healers. She's by herself, basically. I mean, BP's kind of here too, but BP's not going to do anything to you. She's on your support. You might save your support here. Right? You're not just going to feed. Well, hopefully not. If your supports have, you know, brains in their heads, you don't feed this. It's a good decision either way. You're on a target. Nice. I'd say you effectively peeled for your backline. Now we're scared though, because we don't have a lot of health, so we do need to jump out or ult. Oh, we get healed up. Okay. We have this Wolverine chasing us everywhere. We're making a lot of space. We have our ultimate. Nice. You did good there. You do good this fight. Your supports, unfortunately, I don't think heal each other, and your Mantis dies, and then you're in kind of a bad situation. But you use your ultimate, you survive. You're trading resources very well. You're making a lot of space for your team. You're doing pretty good with your cooldown rotations overall. Once we get the thing, we have our bubble. You want to use bubble in the Psylocke ult. They have Wolverine ult. This is unfortunate. It's fine. Maybe bubble a little sooner. They Psylocke ult. You might as well use it, but that's not the biggest thing in the world. We have enough ult charge that we don't really need to peek for Hulk form too much. Nice. Yeah, you just charge it up naturally. Okay. What's the percentage? Where's the top bar that tells me the time? Does it show up when I press play? No? Well, either way, the only reason you'd want to walk up like this is they're really close to capping it. Or if you just want to anchor yourself here. Your team's a little closer than I thought, but you didn't look. I would have liked you to look behind you just to see your team. And then decide to go here. I don't know the percentage of the point. The percentage of the point might be 99 here, and you might just need to go. So I can't tell if this is a mistake or not. But yeah, either look at them when you're up there or look down here. Just see where your team's at. It's fine because they're right there. But I don't think you knew that. What do you think of this bubble? But where is the Psylocke? Where's the Wolverine? These are the two people that you really need bubble for, right? On their team. Don't really care about bubbling this. Venom can definitely do a decent amount of damage. Loki can do a decent amount of damage. There are some situations like long engagements where you might bubble against these, but these are like, I need bubble right now. I need it, my god, I am dying, I need it right now, right? Like, these two. Yeah, nothing with it. There's so, like, something that you need to do here. No, it's probably, like, last second on the point, right? So, and you're like, I just need to get on point now, and I just need to survive. But just take a second, slow it down a little bit, take a look at what's going on. we don't need to be looking at this thing at all. We want to look at what's actually doing damage to us here. Nothing. So it'd be better if we just jumped on point, saved our bubble. Oh. We're in a scary situation. This isn't the worst situation. You dive good targets. You find really good targets to dive. But I don't know where their Wolverine or their Psylocke is, because I don't feel like you've been looking for them as much. These are your threats. You kind of need to be aware of where these guys are. Uh-oh. Right? She's dead. That's good. That's really good for you. So this isn't bad, but you need to know where the Wolverine is, I think, here. Or at least know that you don't have your bubble and that you need to be very careful. Like now I would be more concerned about looking for this Wolverine than punching. I'd like be punching on the side and I'd be using my eyes to scan for the threat. Well, the wolf is kind of focused on point, so he misses an opportunity to blow you up, but it's a bit of a unnecessarily scary situation there. Alright, so bubble management and downtime management are the things we focused on so far. We haven't really talked about your ultimate or your exile usage that much. I saw a couple exiles that could have been better, and maybe a couple opportunities where you could have ulted a little bit more confidently, but I haven't really seen a pattern of that yet. Leap management's pretty good too. We're carrying the wolf around. Let's talk about the Wolverine team up. This is an interesting one. What's the Wolverine team up good for? What's your goal with it? You don't use it a ton last round. I kind of want to see you use it a little bit more, but it's something I forget about too. So it's something that's easy to forget about. Diving with him, yeah. You can throw him in, and then you can immediately jump in, and you can bubble. It's a really easy to coordinate dive. Like that is a really good way to use it, and it's totally fine. You could throw him right here, right now, and probably go in. Probably wait for your team a little bit longer, but like whenever you do that, they immediately have to deal with a Hulk and a Wolverine. It's a pretty bad situation for them. You can also like use him just to take out one guy. Like let's say their Venom was like flanking over here, you could like quickly jump and just like toss him at the ground at the Venom so he knocks him down. So you can find an isolated target that way and just shred them real quick. You can throw him and not even follow up, right? Like it gives Wolverine the really fast dashes. Like you could probably throw him up here and then put him at a really good angle at the right time. He's able to kidnap, right? What's another way the Wolverine team up can be used? This is a way that the team up isn't used often. You can get him out. If you're 10, 15 meters or whatever the distance is, you can hit the button. If he's in there, he blows his load, he can jump back to you and you can go out. So you can be really dynamic with this a bit team up. And I think it's one of the harder team ups to use, but like I think you can get a lot of value out of this team up if you go for it more often. So like last round, I just didn't see you grab him enough or try to go for it. It's going to be awkward and it's kind of tough at first, but I would encourage you to use this team up more freely and to not be afraid to mess it up, because it is really strong. You can get him in, you can get him out. It's really dynamic. Right. Yeah. Like we said, like the timing here is just a little off. I think one thing I've noticed now a couple of times, you just don't look at your team too much because they're not positioned for this. You might be able to get away with this. Let's see, what's your Hela looking at? A wall. One more second, our Hela's probably in position. Our Moon Knight's not really in a great position. He's okay. This might just be your Moon Knight's problem. He probably should be up here looking down on him. You might just want to wait like 1 second for this. Just 1 second. But the most important thing isn't that it's at the wrong time, it's that you didn't look. I don't think. Nice, you got the mag kidnap. Huge. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's kind of scary to use, honestly, because you can totally fuck him up. I'm gonna stop talking about bubble management because we've talked about that enough. So our bubble is down. We're taking the isolated target. Nice, Exile. Like now, if you wanted to, let's see what's going on. If this situation turns bad, you could at any point just jump out, look at your Wolverine, grab him, and then like reposition for another team up. And then you have the throw for your next engagement, so you can go in and out with it. But this is looking like a pretty decent situation, unless their Wolverine's ulting right now. I don't think he is. I can't see ults or anything either, which is a little tough. I'm trying my best. Okay. You get Wolverine ulted, it happens. You guys win that. Bruce stuff isn't really that important. You know, just charge back your Hulk form. I'm not gonna really... Don't peek unnecessarily. Don't put yourself in dangerous positions when you don't need it right away. That's the big stuff there, and it seems like you understand it. What do you think of this jump? Trying to bubble him? Okay. Alright. Fair. I just want you to have a reason. That's a totally fine reason. And the good thing here is you don't use your bubble. You don't even use your exile. You just jump out right away, I think. Use a clap. Perfect. And you're out. So, I just needed to know there was logic behind it. And not a random jump. Now this would be a good time where you might want to pull your Wolverine out, right? You might just want to use your team up and then reposition. Better yet, Cloak and Dagger ult. How do we play around Cloak and Dagger ultimate as Hulk? What can we do against Cloak and Dagger ult that most tanks cannot do? Most characters cannot do this. And it's not just juggling them. You could juggle them out of their ultimate if you're feeling really confident. That's not what I'm talking about. You could juggle them out all. Yeah, if you're feeling really confident. You could juggle the Cloak. Cloak's a really hard juggle because she has the fade, right? But you could definitely... The maximum value, right, is you juggle Cloak, you kill her, and you cancel her ult. That's a big play you can do as Hulk, but it's tough. There's an easier play, though. Much simpler, much easier. No clue. Okay, exile enemies, sure. Yeah, we could do that. That's fine. Wrong answers are totally fine. Wolverine, we could grab him. We don't have to grab him, but what we could do is we could jump here, and we could look at these guys. What happens if we jump on these guys is we force them to either play in the ult, which isn't a bad thing, because they actually end up like grouping up, and when this ult ends, they have 0 map control. That's not a bad thing to force them to play into the ultimate. Or you force Cloak to dash back, which means they get less forward ultimate, right? You jump this right now. I think you have all your resources. You could jump that Namor right now if you wanted to. Dude, I can't see your cooldowns. Why am I getting less information? Oh, there it is. You have your ultimate. You have your bubble. You could jump this Namor right now. And if they don't dash back and they don't get back into the ultimate, you might be able to get a kill. That's the thing Hulk can do. Magneto kind of has to sit back. He can't stand in this and trade favorably anymore, so he just needs to kite out. Hulk can find people outside of the ultimate and actually get value for your team while their ultimate's going on. Their Namor just died. That's fortunate. Now they're all in the ultimate. So that situation's over, but that is something that I think is really important, is on Hulk, these support ultimates happen. You can go find the target that's not in it. We don't really want to be fighting in the Cloak and Dagger ultimate because they have a lot of resources and we're not going to be forcing many, but we can charge our ultimate, especially when there's like 3 people here. If it's safe to do so, you could like punch against 3 targets and just get a lot of ult charge if you think it's safe. That's another option, but that's like the least valuable option. If there's nobody to kill and it's safe, you can just charge your ultimate in support ults, because they feed a ton of ult charge in this time. You have your ultimate though. Yep, hit the exile, back up. Alright. Nice, good exile. Stick on this target. Nice, huge. I like that you wait for the end of the cloak ult too. This is just cleanup at this point, pretty much. Alright, we got downtime, right? We could stand here and take some damage and short support ults. What would be more effective though? We got downtime. You got a ton of different options here. You tell me. Just give me a plan. Probably want to get the rest of this health bar up some way, so probably somewhere in our supports line of sight, or grab a health pack or something. So probably something we could do if we wanted to. Set up for dive. Exactly. We could take our Wolverine. We could go right here. We say let them come through. We could go on a different angle than our Wolverine. Probably not here. We take too much poke, right? We take too much poke here, and then that's going to mess up our dive. We take too much poke here. But we can hang by this wall. We can hang at this wall. We could get this health pack and then just come back and see what's happening, right? Like, it's not that you're doing nothing on your downtime. It's that you're being very intentional about not doing a lot, right? You don't have your bubble. You take 5 seconds and you're waiting. You're getting into the best position you can get into to engage these guys. I like this one because I don't even have to jump to punch them, right? My team's got angles on this spot, so I kind of like that. But any of these options are fine. You could go here. You could say, hey, let's go play point. You know, they're playing mag. We don't want to play in this open space. You could play here. It's just like you want to have some intention of, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. And you don't want to be taking too much poke. You don't want to be forcing too many resources. You just want to be setting up. It's much more effective. Nice. We back away from the poke. So that's good. Do you like this spot? It's okay, right? You can take some poke here from the mag. Probably going to take a little poke from the Venom. The thing that's okay about this position is we are taking a short angle of, like, when they engage us, we'll be trading back punches, but and we do have some sort of cover, but I think I like the other positions better. Yeah, I think I like this position a lot better. It gives me a lot more vision of my team and what's going on, and it also gives me an angle on them that gives me the short engagement, right? I'm punching. I don't have a long range gun, so I kind of want to just be walking on them and punching them right away. So it gives me what this angle gives me, but I don't take poke. And also it gives me one other thing. It gives me the element of surprise. They're not going to know that I'm here. Right here, they're going to walk into you and they're going to be planning, right? What's that Hulk going to do? They know you guys are waiting there. Imagine if they have zero idea where you're at. and they're walking into this. That's terrifying, right? They know that a Wolverine and a Hulk is somewhere around here, but they don't know when, they don't know where. That's much scarier. It's easier for your supports to heal you here too. Same thing with this position here. They don't know when, they don't know where. And then you jump in, you get your value, and then you jump out. So this is called like telegraphing. This is like a very telegraphed position of what you're trying to do. You don't know where your team went, so you fed. Yeah, that's the thing. Like here, too, I'm less likely to look at my team just because I have to focus on so much stuff. Of like, if they have a stun or anything like that, I have to be so aware of that. So I don't have as much, I guess, breathing room to just check on my team. Your Wolverine goes in. Low value bubble. You guys taking a lot of poke there, right? A lot of pokes being done. They forced our bubble and we do feed, yeah. I think it's the positioning. I think that was positioning and a little bit of impatience. He gets portal back in. We bubble right away. Do we want to bubble this? Yes. Yeah, we definitely didn't see the Moon Knight ult. Oh, is that your Moon Knight ult? That's your Moon Knight ult. Sorry, it's red. I think this is a good bubble. I'm not going to harp on it too much because we've gone over bubble management enough. I think this is a fine bubble. You're going through portal. We just now need to be really careful. We've used our bubble. We're just trying to get our team through this portal. I don't like this portal at all. I think your Strange did a really bad portal, but there's nothing you can do about that. Fight's over, basically. You find the right target. It's a little too late. Bad portal. Nothing you can do about that. What do you think of this jump? I think I know why you do this jump. Speed? Yeah. Why? This person right here. You jump from here all the way to here, inner line of sight. And you could easily be way lower right now if this hella hit more shots. You could easily be 200 HP. All right, you got a fantastic here. So your bubble's probably going to get forced by his right click. You have Magneto here, so you might not even be able to jump out. Your bubble's going to get forced. Right? You're demanding a lot of resources. But why do you jump here? Why do you think you jump here? I think I know why you jump here. You're trying to go right side. Yeah. I think, maybe tell me if I'm wrong. I think you're scared of this hella killing your teammates. And so you're trying to get in there, make space, block damage before your teammates can just die to this hella. Because I do this on the Hulk all the time. It's one of the biggest mistakes I make. I get panic about my teammates dying, and then I play poorly so they don't die. They might die if I jump another way. That's what's scary. But that's not my fault, and that's not my job. I'm not Doctor Strange. I don't walk off and close off this angle. That's not what Hulk does. So we want to go right side, sure. How do we go right side from here? We walk out here, we probably take a little bit of poke, right? But then we can LOS it. We can get healed from our Mantis a little bit. We could even go wide to this health pack all the way over here. And this is what you need to start doing, though, is like, you got to think, okay, my team could die while I'm on this flank, but it's their job to survive. It's not my job to protect them. I need to do this flank quickly so that that's less of a possibility, but this is how I get value as Hulk, is I come in through here, I turn the Hela this way, I turn the Magneto this way, I turn the Cloak this way. This means I'm not taking a shit ton of damage, they're not taking a shit ton of damage, and we get it in and we use our character right to make that space. Jump further right, yeah. Yeah, you got it. Just use this wall. Use this cover. Bubble gets forced. We're not able to do anything right now. If we came from here, we'd be in there jumping them or able to at least do that at any time. Because in about 2 seconds, our Strange is going to be right here. Hopefully our Moon Knight and Hela take some angles like this. And they really, really need us to be on this Hela with our bubble, but we don't have it. So I think what's going to happen is your team's going to push forward. They're either going to stack behind Strange and then they're going to get melted. Or they're going to try and take angles, and then it's just up to whether your Hela aims or their Hela aims. That's what I think is going to happen here. Or you're going to jump in and feed without bubble. You're making the best out of a bad situation. Your bubble's forced, so you jump. I like this. I like this a lot. It's unfortunate we don't have bubble, but we are doing something. We're setting up. We're going a little bit deeper. And then in 5 seconds, we do have a good jump. But it might not be... It might be too long. It might be too late.
Your powers are mine.
I don't know. I like this a lot, though. A really good response to a bad situation. You're on the cloak. Perfect target to be on, right? You got the Hela target turned at you. It looks like... It looks okay. It looks like you survived that. It could have been much worse. Don't love the bubble, though. Now we're kind of lost. Like, so many things happened, I think, while you went on this flank, that by the time you were able to engage, like, you kind of got lost, too. So, like, you had a much better understanding of everything that was going on when you were setting up, right? But you didn't set up properly, and so you get poked out, and then you do well to flank around, but it's too late. I do like that you destroy the deployables as banner. Sometimes you got to do that. I think this situation, you might want to charge your ultimate just a little bit faster, or your Hulk form back a little bit faster, because this cloak ult's about to end and you're in a really bad spot. If you were like behind a corner and you're like, okay, I can just take care of this lamp, that might be fine. But like, I think you need to get Hulk form back as soon as possible. You might get it back in time still. Yeah, you get it back. I wish I saw the timer. I'm gonna assume you have time. We jump back, we bubble. Not the best situation. Our Hela's dead. If we have time, this is fine. We just need to go all the way out. I don't think you have time. I think they're at like 90%, 95%, if I'm tracking right. I could be wrong, though, because I've been pausing it a lot. So, this is a fine bubble if we were saying, okay, we got one more fight. Let's just wait 10 seconds. Let's back out, full out, full out. But if we have to go touch here, we now no longer have our bubble. We're taking a lot of poke from this angle, too. So I don't like the jump or the bubble. I'd much rather you jump somewhere where you can engage from a better angle and your bubble doesn't get forced. Does it make sense? Is this all making sense? You have your ultimate. I don't hate this. Could be better timed. I think we need a little bit more awareness of our team. I think we need to be taking a lot less poke on our way in. We forced a lot of support resources there. But you do get in. You have your ult. You have your bubble. You're making space. You're on the right target. Is it the right time? That window of time gets much larger when you have your ultimate. So I think this is okay from here. You force the lamps. Or something forces the lamps. It's the Moon Knight ult. But you're in here while the lamps are down. This is a good situation. Nice. We haven't talked about Hulk ult that much. I think I've given you a lot, and I think you understand it. But we can. Hulk ult, and this is a good illustration of that. It's not about the juggles. It's not about the kills. What Hulk ult really does is what you just did, which is it allows you to jump in use your bubble, and right now you'd have to jump out, right? Most of the time you'd have to jump out pretty quickly, but now you get to keep going and keep applying pressure because you have ultimate. It extends your engagement. I don't want to go super in depth to that because I think I've given you enough to work on, but I do, that was just a good illustration of that. Nice. Nice. Good ultimate. Really good ultimate. Just take a little bit of extra time to avoid poke and to get here from the right angle and at the right time, and I think this turns from a good fight to a great fight. Nice. This stuff is hard too, like, this stuff is really, really hard. Nice. Well played. I think you did good. Just to recap, use that downtime a little bit more intentionally. I think you do use your downtime, but I don't see like a direct intention in those, whether it's to set up or to peel for a target or to take a duel with an isolated target. Like, just make a decision and fully commit to that. Bubble usage is just something that can always be better. Try and think of what things you're wanting to bubble from the enemy team. Try and make sure you're getting value out of your bubble. You're trading cooldowns for it. You're saving your life, saving your team. Just something that's worth the bubble. And looking around a lot more to just be aware of where your threats are, where your team is, so you know when you need to use it and when you don't is going to really help. And then just setting up more in better spots. Yeah.